The match between two iconic entities. The New Zealand Maori take on the New Zealand Barbarians. And just to make it a truly special occasion, we see for the first time the magnificent new grandstand here at what was once known as Hoeata Park, now Toll Stadium. And you see before you some very famous figures of Maori rugby. The figure there is Munro Walters, who was a wonderful fullback in his time. Many famous figures have come here today for this truly special occasion. This year marking the 100th anniversary of the first appearance of an official Maori side. The match played in Rotorua back in 1910. You see Waka Nathan there, one of the true greats of New Zealand rugby. Peter Goldsmith, who was a live wire winger for the New Zealand Maori in his day, gone on to become a very prominent sports administrator. Ross Linklater there, who played his part in a famous victory for the New Zealand Maori side against the Lions in 2005. Chaz Ferris went on to great things as a coach, former coach of North Harbour, of course. And this is the first of three matches. They'll be playing against Ireland next week, so it'll be an excellent shakedown for that, and a subsequent match in Napier against the England team. Fitting that this match should be played in a province that has produced some of the great Maori players in New Zealand rugby. The match ball being delivered, and I'm pleased to say that the weather here is very good, and this marvellous new grandstand here is filling up rapidly. We've got a crowd of over 10,000. Conditions are excellent at the moment. Hopefully they will stay that way. Been many famous matches played on this ground over the years, and hopes are high that we're in for a very good spectacle. Great significance for the New Zealand Maori, of course, but also for the Barbarians. A number of players in this side that are on the fringe of All Black selection. It's an extra opportunity for them to press their claims. They haven't had an intense build-up. That's not really the Barbarian style. But they are certainly looking forward to the challenge of taking on this team today. There have been a couple of late changes in the reserves. We were to have a couple of the Irish team on the reserve bench. Unfortunately, they've had to pull out because of injury. Barbarian side have been put together under the eye of Northland coaches Bryce Woodward and Blair Larson. And it's a useful looking team too. Like the New Zealand Maori, they'll field 6 All Blacks in their starting 15. A mixture of young and seasoned players. And the likes of Albie Mathewson must have been very close to All Black selection. Still a chance to press his claims. Big day for Josh Bekhuis, one who certainly looks to have a future at higher levels ahead of him. Ben Smith, you can see there in the headgear, will play in the midfield. All Black winger last year. Orlando Soakai of Otago captains the team. An honour for him, and an interesting switch for John Afoa. After 23 tests as a tight head prop, he switches to hooker at the urging of the All Black selectors. He's got some good tall timber to aim at, and the veteran Kevin O'Neill and the up-and-coming Josh Bekhuis. Should be a good front row battle in this match. Two massive front rows lining up here this afternoon, so some real talent in that forward pack. In the backs, well, unless you're a follower of Auckland Club Rugby, you probably won't have heard of Bryce Heem. The 21-year-old speedster on the right wing is the traditional unheralded player in the Barbars ranks. We're told he's a real flyer. Ben Smith switches from wing to midfield. Local favourite Rennie Ranger gets the chance to further press his All Black credentials. As I say, we were to have a couple of members of the Irish touring side, Damien Varley and Tom Corp, but they've had to pull out because of injury, which is a bit of a shame, and have been replaced. Well, this is a notable occasion for Maori rugby. Always been a rich part of the tapestry of the game in New Zealand. A special occasion, a special jersey they'll be wearing. And Liam Messam it is who's been given the honour of captaining this side. As I say, quite apart from the historical significance, an opportunity for players to keep themselves on the All Black radar. Special welcome from the Kapahaka group from Whangarei High School. Well, we mentioned the All Black radar. Someone who's dropped right off that radar appears to be Isaac Ross. Last year's meteoric rise has been followed by an equally meteoric fall. Few opportunities for the Crusaders this year. What can he achieve? All but Wellington lock Daniel Ramsay, a current Super 14 players in that Maori pack. In the backs, Luke McAlister, another fighting to reclaim an All Black jersey. And if the game is played in true Maori Barbarian style, he'll certainly get his opportunities to shine. Lots of attacking talent, some seasoned campaigners on the bench too, the likes of Heijden, Triggs, Colin, Dwayne Sweeney, with some new faces to this level as well. And now for the national anthem, to be sung by Karen Edwards. Setting at this great arena with a new face, and now one of the exciting parts of the game as we look on the referees for this match, just awaiting as we bring in the timatanga, the Maori team's haka. All about the creation of New Zealand from the 4 wins, the coming together of young men and the challenges they face. If you aim for the mountains, you will hit the plains. If you aim for the sky, you will hit the mountain peaks. Timatanga, led by Jose Gia of the New Zealand Maori. Josh Noonan of Canterbury is the referee. Great anticipation here in Whangarei. Excellent conditions. Plenty of familiar faces. a star-studded lineup for both sides, and we're all set. Colin Slade it will be of Canterbury to kick off for the Barbarians.
Black. Red. Thanks, Leah. Okay.
So the Sea Lord International Series commemorating 100 years of Māori rugby in New Zealand is underway at Toll Stadium in Whangarei, and here's a good start with the New Zealand Māori captain Liam Messam making play back up towards halfway. Ball there for Chris Smylie at halfback, Luke McAlister in the midfield, and they'll look to run it, of course. Robbie Robinson up from fullback. Isaac Ross in support. He's lost the ball though, and so the Barbarians are going to get it just inside their own half. Charlie Faumuina comes into play halfback, and Ben Smith in the headgear wearing 12 looking to get it wide. Here's Mathewson struggling out of the first tackle over halfway, or up towards halfway I should say, and the first penalty of the match as we bring in our commentary team for the afternoon, and it's a welcome to the man alongside me, Richard Turner. Richard, really looking forward to this.
Oh, absolutely, and early indications, Tony, first minute of the game, and both sides showing an absolute willingness to move the ball, and that's exactly what we expect from New Zealand Maori and the New Zealand Barbarians. And there's the high shot, early high shot, and the Barbarians with their real first opportunity on attack, 20-odd metres out.
And sideline for this afternoon's game, former New Zealand Sevens captain, former New Zealand Māori representative, Carlton Ana.
Thanks, TJ. Yeah, predictions earlier on with the thunderstorms, but the brisk northerly coming from behind the Māoris has blown away the clouds, but the pitch itself is outstanding condition, TJ.
Yes, there were some dire predictions as to what the weather might be, but I can tell you at the moment prospects are that this game is going to be played in very good weather. There was a lot of rain over the last couple of days, but the pitch has dried nicely as Jared Payne, man who's played plenty of rugby in this part of the country, puts the ball into touch, and it'll be a line-out throw far side for the New Zealand Māori side. Corey Flynn it is, and down the back to Jared Hoeata, and looking to move the ball through Luke McAlister. Just got through the first tackle, but there was a forward pass, and so they'll come back for the scrum. And looking forward to the scrum battle, Richard, as I suggested before, two massive front rows.
Yeah, they certainly are. The New Zealand Māori front row. That's pretty impressive.
First scrum, gents, let's get it right, eh? Set a standard. There you go, come down to me. Crouch. Touch. Pause.
So Albie Mathewson to put it in.
No problems. There we go.
There's Corey Flynn. So many times in his career he's had to fight back from injury. Several broken arms. He had an ankle injury early on in the season as well, and he's up against John Afoa. Going to be very interesting to see how he goes.
Pause, engage. Let's get it in, Floyd. Stay behind 9.
Looking to take it off the back is Peter Saili of Auckland and the Blues.
Back 9.
MacKintosh picks it up. Jamie MacKintosh makes a couple of metres. And there it is for Mathewson. Colin Slade looking to move the ball wide, and here's Ben Smith showing what he's capable of, turning the ball back in field, but he couldn't quite connect with his Otago and Highlanders teammate Fetu Vainikolo. But Carlton Ana, very interesting to see Ben Smith in a midfield role, and he looks to have the credentials for the job.
Yeah, he's got great vision, hasn't he? You can see it was just the back ball near any ranger. Was a decoy, was behind him. And Ben Smith, well, he's a strong runner. Just should have held their path. Vainikolo, a tough one for him to take.
Okay.
We've seen a lot of him at wing and at fullback, and he's looked very good in those roles, but up against Luke McAlister this afternoon. So that's a head-to-head clash really worth watching.
Early pressure on New Zealand Maori scrum, Tony, from the Barbarians. So interesting to see how they go with their head to the scrum. Newland not happy.
Yes, he's got them for the early engage.
It may be a reflection of the pressure they were under after that first scrum. So keen to get the early hit.
Early this side. Stay.
Well, it's something they'll have to sort out, because with matches against Ireland and England to come, and we know what emphasis the Northern Hemisphere teams really put on the set pieces. The battle for primary possession, they're going to have to get that right. Here's Bronson Murray on this side. Bronson Murray, a Northland man of Ngāpuhi, up against Charlie Faumuina.
Pause, engage. Stay down, 7.
Better scrum from the Māori this time. Untidy ball for the Barbars, and it's come around, so that is a good response, Richard.
Yeah, better scrum from the Māori in general, but more specifically, that man you were talking about, Bronson Murray. Great hit, gets the acknowledgement of his teamates, pat on the head. A lot better from Bronson Murray on that occasion. You see it here, head on head, and then he just got the hit on. Got that left arm up, got the drive on. Faumuina nicely did Murray, and that gave the New Zealand Māori the advantage that they needed.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Off the mark, Red. Over here, over here, over here.
Well, this time the free kick has gone to the New Zealand Māori side. Barbarians pushing over the mark, and they want another scrum.
Ding-dong battle this is going to be. Battle of wills at the moment for me, Tony.
Just get that wind up for me, please. That last one slipped off.
Anything you can do, we can do better. But it's certainly, I think, an area that the Barbarians will certainly look to.
I don't want the first one, but then
look to think that they'll have some sort of dominance in this match. And so this could be an interesting battle as this match progresses.
I'm sure, though, that the fans will want to see some running rugby.
Touch.
Both of these sides synonymous with attacking play.
Well, he needs to pop round the other side now. That's Josh Newland, because he's been policing the Faumuina Murray battle. He needs to get over there and sort out Clint Newland and Jamie MacKintosh. Up to no good over the other side.
It's interesting you said that, Pod, because Jamie MacKintosh, once he went to deck, kept on going and gave Clint Newland a little bit of what for, so there's no call to give him whatsoever.
This is the side we're talking about. Have a look. MacKintosh got the drive on, and look, this is exactly what Carl's talking about. Keeps the drive on.
Tom off.
What is it? Playing against your own teammates just brings out the worst of people, doesn't it? Two brothers in arms for the Highlanders. Put them together on opposite sides of the scrum at a match like this, and they'll be up to all sorts.
And just Noonan there having a chat with his assistant referee over the other side, just giving him the message.
Well, we need to get this sorted out and get on with the match. It's taken up a good 2 or 3 minutes, the scrum.
Here we go.
A lot of backline talent waiting to be unleashed.
Here we go, Brian. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Let's go.
Well, Newland putting the pressure on big time. That just disintegrated the scrum, but it's been picked up by Tainado Latimer. So it is on for young and old at scrum time. Stephen Brett hooks the kick back towards the far side, and Vainikolo, taken by surprise, couldn't take it cleanly. Another who's worn the local jersey, the famous Cambridge blue of Northland.
Which player?
Making a return to the stadium, but not a good start.
Take care.
Well, he's such an explosive runner when he does catch the ball, Vainikolo, but on that occasion, I think it just caught him by surprise. Wasn't the best kick from Stephen Brett off the side of the boot. He's lucky he did drop it for the New Zealand Māori, because there's a bit of space in front of Vainikolo.
Oh, we're going to have another scrum.
Well, this is a great battle for the purists, Tony. MacKintosh just absolutely giving it to Clint Newland on that last occasion. So here's Clint's opportunity to get one back. His ball.
Pause. Engage. Go.
And off the back from Messam. Smylie in a bit of trouble, though. He's been wrapped up by Orlando Soakai. And they've got it. Flynn gets rid of it to Latimer. Peter Saili coming in, illegally taking the ball, and so it's a penalty.
You're in the tackle, you stayed on your feet. Incorrect entry, 8.
So Peter Saili retreats, and what's the call from Liam Messam? Luke McAlister comes up.
Thank you. Shot.
And he's going to have a shot at goal. I said before, fitting that one of these matches in the Sea Lord series should be played here. You think about the great players that have come out of Northland, great Maori players. Think of the Going brothers, the Dunn brothers. Eddie Dunn here this afternoon, the Woodman brothers. Go back beyond that to J.B. Smith, Johnny Smith, the great centre. And in more recent years, the likes of Norm Berryman, Errol Brain, of course, a former New Zealand Maori captain, started his rugby here in Whangarei, and Eric Rush comes from further north. Luke McAlister, who was kicking them from all over the place yesterday at training. And he has put his first one over. That's a good start for McAlister, and the New Zealand Maori lead by 3-0.
He started off with a hiss and a roar, did this one, and it's turned into a front rowers battle. But McAlister getting first points for the New Zealand Maori on that occasion. And Tony, he said he was kicking them from everywhere. He had plenty left on that as well.
Our spies tell us he was knocking them over from 60 metres yesterday. So Colin Slade with the restart. And it's loose, but it's been picked up by Smylie. Liam Messam, who's had one good run. Sean Maitland on the right wing, and a strong runner too. Mathewson eventually, along with Soakai, put him on the ground. Now Brett McAlister, chance to move the ball wide. Straightening is Jackson Willison. Latimer has it. And Corey Flynn with a rather loose pass in field. Hit the referee.
Well, it's mistakes you'd see from a team that's just got together. TJ, their first hit out in a while. I mean, the fours got in the road there in that last movement. Then the inside pass from Flynn, just not accurate. It's going to take them a little time to find their feet.
Here's Maitland. And he is so elusive. Big, strong, a real handful. Very good season with the Crusaders.
Yeah, we talked about the battle up front, but gee, we've got some pace waiting to be unleashed out wide. We saw Maitland there, obviously Jose Gia on the other one wing, and then on the other opposition, Vainikolo and Bryce Heem, the youngster who's had his opportunity here today.
Here's Maitland.
Straight away. Yeah. Here we go.
Special occasion and special jersey too. You can see there's a very innovative design, very intricate design on the jerseys to mark the occasion. Te Aho, the new dawn, encompassing the korowai, the traditional cloak, and the wharenui, the ancestral meeting house. A lot of work's gone into the design. It's a smart looking outfit that they're wearing. And here's a smart break too from Jose Gia. Man, he's been in tremendous form this season. Into the 22 he goes. Real chance here for the Māori side. Hoeata gets it away to Smylie. Spinning in the tackle, Messam. And it's set about 12 metres from the line. So first signs of the New Zealand Maori backs finding some openings. Stephen Brett. First try of the game. Scored by Stephen Brett. All came from that lovely move involving Jose Gia.
Well, it looked simple in the end, the finish for Stephen Brett. Had to bust a couple of pretty average, to be fair, tackles from the New Zealand Barbars, but this is where it came from. Jose Gia, geez, an excitement machine. Plenty out there, and he's unlucky not to be in that all-black environment right now. And then Captain Messam, another one, another talented footballer, and that's the exciting thing about this match, Tony. Plenty of talent on show, and Stephen Brett just taking it to the line. Little show and go, not really much in it, and average defensively from the Barbars in the end.
But I like what Stephen Brett did before that to create the space for Jose Gearpod. He stood wide, and it made Soakai stretch, and it drew him in, and then the easy switch with Jose Gears, which made the bar Saili couldn't get there either. And from there on in, the Barbars are always on the back foot, and it was always going to be tough. As you said, average defence in the end, but two involvements from Stephen Brett led to the try.
Well, you've got to think too, Tony, that it really is their greatest opportunity in New Zealand Māori. The Barbarians getting together on Tuesday. They're a composite side, so you'd think they'd lack organisation. So the Māori, their best opportunity is to really ask questions of the Barbarians' defensive system.
Played first.
Well, that kick hasn't gone. The 10 from Colin Slade.
Scrum.
And we'll come back for a scrum. Now we look over into this marvellous stand at some of the dignitaries that are here.
Last one was much better.
It's been quite an occasion. They had a big lunch upstairs for many of these people. And I must say, Richard, it is absolutely delightful to see what they've done here.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Tony. Had a good wander around the new stand here at Toll Stadium when we arrived at the ground. It is a magnificent setup. And certainly just what the environment around here needs.
Messam takes it off the back, fires it away to Brett, who's looked good early on. Now moving it on, Willison to Gear, this time running out of room. But setting it nicely. Now Bronson Murray has a run at them. John Afoa, Charlie Faumuina there to make the tackle. They go back to the short side again. A nice pass away to Gear. Well, I think they've decided that one of the best ways to make holes is just give the ball to Gear as much as possible, the form he's in. Now Robbie Robinson up in the line. Gets the pass on the outside to Latimer. On it goes to Messam. Stabs the kick ahead for Maitland to chase. And coming across from the far wing, that's good work from young Bryce Heem, the 21-year-old. Saving the day because they were fast running out of defence on the other side of the field.
Well, that's better structure from the New Zealand Māori. They're keeping their depths a secret. Liam Messam been heavily involved staying on this right-hand side, showing all his range of skills with the kick there.
Come off.
Yeah, nice to see Robbie Robinson involved in that movement too, Tony. I expect that the longer this game progresses, the more we'll see him entering from fullback into the back line and being a significant contributor to this match. Another one of New Zealand's young talents.
Yes, there he is, Robbie Robinson, whose Māori heritage is on his mother's side. To Wharetoa. Exciting player. Didn't get that many opportunities in Super 14 this year, but we know how good he can be, and a big challenge for this fellow here. We know how talented he is, but I think also we're all aware of the sort of work, the sort of development of his game he's been asked to do if he's to get himself back into the All Black frame.
Yeah, well, Carl, you had a chat to him earlier in the week, didn't you? And I know at the end of the interview it was a bit of a throwaway comment, but he sort of laughed about, or made a joke about being more involved in the tight, but obviously that's the message he's been given, and it's certainly part of his conscience now.
Yeah, it's all a mental thing too, Todd. I mean, he's got the frame, he's got the skills, as TJ highlighted as well, so...
Hoeata down the back, couldn't take it though, and here's Orlando Soakai finding some space. Smylie comes across, can't make the tackle. Corey Flynn does, and Mathewson now draws a couple of defenders with him and then gets it away to big Peter Saili, and on the charge he goes. Pops the pass, that's gone off the knee of Mathewson, I think, or no, the referee's playing advantage. He said it was off the hand.
Advantage over.
Willison's booted it away downfield. Now here's Bryce Heem. You're going to have a go. They tell us he's pretty quick. Ranger floats the pass back and field. Here's Vainikolo. We know all about him. Almost running into one of his own teammates there. Rennie Ranger taking on the 10-metre mark. Mathewson now. They've got numbers away to the right here, but he's tucked the ball back in field. And nicely taken on by Slade, and then Mathewson getting it back. Waldrom comes in to play halfback. Ben Smith looking for the offload. Scooped up by Peter Saili. Chris Smylie gone down. Looks like he's taken a bit of a blow on the head. Mathewson senses an opportunity down the short side. Now he's got it away to Jared Payne. Gear made the tackle, but he stayed in field. And there it is for the Barbars now. Big pass goes out to Colin Slade. Little show of the ball as the defence came up. Josh Bekhuis has it. Kevin O'Neill over it, and Saili gets the ball away to Smith. Moving it on now, Ranger trying to stab it through, and oh, it's bounced nicely. Heem's across there, and good hands too to pick it up from the young fellow. 6 metres from the line, and eventually Ranger losing it. That's some nice skill there from
Red first, scrum black.
Bryce Heem,
Scrum.
the right winger. Here's Rennie Ranger. Here's Bryce Heem, 21-year-old from the Grammar Carlton Club in Auckland.
Bronson.
Member of the Auckland Academy.
So don't let it jump off the ground. Get up.
It's the great tradition of Barbarian sides. The Barbarians in the UK is to pick an uncapped player for a big match.
How about the involvement from Mathewson, sorry, TJ? I mean, just sniping around those fringes, always dangerous. You know how quick he is with his form with the Blues. That's something the Māoris will have to watch.
I'm going to have a look on this side.
Well, he's one of several players in this game who can be considered very unlucky not to have made the All Black side, and still very much in the frame for perhaps inclusion in the Tri-Nations. Here's Chris Smylie. Looks like he might have opened up a cut around the cheek or the eye, and he'll have to go off. Dr. Stephen Kara out there with him.
Yep, that's fine. Let's have him on.
And this will mean an appearance for Manawatu's Aaron Smith.
Yep, and he's on in jersey 21. We see him just coming into frame from the left. And I think Smylie just copped a straight boot, making a tackle on Ben Smith on that sideline. So I'm sure they'll just get that stitched up. Won't be too far away.
I know you've got a
nice moment for Aaron Smith. He's one of just 2 back reserves in the Māori side.
Let's go.
I've named 5 forwards, but one of those, Colin Burke. Well,
can you start this side, please?
as Richard Turner knows, a fellow product of Napier Men's High School. He can play anywhere, Richard.
Well, that's the great ability that he brings to a bench situation. You'd love to be out there starting, but does give the Māori the luxury of just the 2 back reserves, but losing one, well, hopefully just to the blood bin, but a great opportunity for Aaron Smith.
Go.
Well, the front row battle continues, and more pressure on the Māori side.
Well, this is becoming a real concern for them. New Zealand Māori coach Jamie Joseph will be frantically making notes. It's MacKintosh. He's really having the better of Newland. Look at that. Didn't really get his arm up at all, but kept the leg drive going. There he goes. Gets the message from Noonan. And it's just, if he'd got that left arm up, it would have been worse. But certainly looking impressive at the moment is Jamie MacKintosh for New Zealand Barbars.
Touch. Pause. Engage. Stay there now.
Well, Bronson Murray never really getting the bind up there at all. And
leave it red.
Aaron Smith has to go burrowing in for it. So problems continue. And Maitland gets it back to Brett, and he's done very nicely to get himself out of trouble there. Fetu Vainikolo is going to pick it up just inside his own half, and off he goes. Fires a nice pass back in field to Jared Payne. Bit of Barbarians rugby in the crowd finding their voice here too. Mathewson snaps it up, gets it away to MacKintosh. Brett making the tackle. Mathewson again, on it goes to Range, a little stop and start. Firing it back in field, supporters there from Kevin O'Neill. Now maybe a chance to stretch them. Slade now. Afoa going in a bit upright and meeting some stern resistance. But it's still there for the Barbars. Mathewson now puts the head down. Loses it. And it's been scooped up by Robbie Robinson. And off he goes. Heem's coming across. Fires it away to Gear. Puts the kick in. And Heem's come back. Well, good tracking back again from the young fellow.
No, back 10.
They were really stretched. Now, Vainikolo has it again. And he decides to kick. Not a great kick. And he's just going to get them into a whole lot more trouble, I think. Hoeata.
Roll tacklers!
Although good work there from the Barbarian forwards arriving. He's played that on the ground. He's got away with it. Liam Messam's going to score. Well, I suppose sometimes the risk of breaking the law, you get away with it, and they've got to try. Should never have been allowed, but there you go.
No, but it is allowed. And Messam, well, give him his credit. He started it. He forced the turnover just about on his own goal line down the other end on Albie Mathewson. And he's finished it off 100 metres down the other end of the field. And there was plenty of excitement in between. But for me, Tony, most of that excitement came in the form of young Auckland winger Bryce Heem, because Robbie Robinson had made the big break, had Jose Guerra on his outside, and Heem, we've been told he's got plenty of pace, and boy, oh boy, on cover. He came across. That was the turnover. That was Messam, and the break from Robinson. And Heem's come all the way over from the other side and tracking this. And there you thought, well, Soakai would go. But look at Heem. Plenty of pace and some good rugby intelligence here. But then look at this. There's the mistake on the ground. Newland there looking, says it's okay. And Liam Messam, as I say, started it and finished it.
I'm not quite sure what was okay about it, KT.
Yeah, a bit dubious, but I'm with you guys. The right-hand winger, Bryce Heem, you can see the line that he took. He wasn't intimidated against Soakai. An All Black, usually he'd shut the gate. That'll be game over. But just showing his speed, getting back in cover. And unfortunately, just not enough there for the Barbars.
Well, McAlister, who landed his first attempt, a penalty. And he has got his second one as well. So 17-0.
We'll have a look. Players all on the ground. It's a ruck situation, and it was Sean Maitland on the ground for the Māori, who has termed it dubiously. Offloaded the ball to an unmarked Liam Messam.
Good following up there by Rennie Ranger, and he's got the ball back for the Barbarians. Smith with a nice short pass to Afoa, so a chance to hit back. Waldrom gets it away to Vainikolo, to Slade. Ranger floating a lovely pass away to Payne, and Saili's in. Well, that's real Barbars rugby. Some lovely touches in that try.
Yeah, lovely. This is what the big crowd, and it is an impressive crowd here at Toll Stadium, Tony. And this is what they were expecting, and this is what they've been delivered. Big Peter Saili. Oh, he's the front rowers a ding-dong head-to-head. Well, he's gone, Liam Messam, anything you can do, I'm quite capable of doing as well. And Rennie Ranger did all the work, got up there, batted it back, a little bit uncontrolled. But Smith, he's looked good in 12 too, has Ben Smith, and then they just came wide, and it was a numbers game simply for the Barbarians. They had big numbers, the Māori slow to mark up, and Saili the overlap.
But you can see how the Māori defence was all condensed pod. There was 3 passes and it basically skipped the whole team. The Barbarians had a lot more numbers on the right-hand side left over.
So 17-7. First try goes to Peter Saili of Auckland and the Blues. Colin Slade adding the conversion. And this good crowd here, as I say, over 10, well over 10,000, already getting their money's worth. Brett with the restart. Taking it down, Josh Bekhuis. Try a little drive.
No. Use your hands, use your hands. Well, go 6.
No such thing as a friendly game of rugby, is there? The Barbars have it. Mathewson. Off it goes to Slade, to Ranger. Little show of the ball, and boy, he's tough to stop, isn't he? He's got it away to Vainikolo. Fatu Vainikolo. Gets past Robinson, can't get past Maitland, loses it forward.
Well, Rennie Ranger knows this ground oh so well. And now the game's starting to open up, and the individual stars starting to shine. Look at this offload, just held it up until he saw Vainikolo come in to the picture offload. Robbie Robinson, oh, he did enough, didn't he?
Yeah, I was just about to say that it looked as though he'd beaten Robinson, but Robinson got enough, lost his balance. But how about the touches? A combination of skill and strength there from Rennie Ranger. Such a potent mix.
Well, he drew on 3 defenders and got the pass away, didn't he, Ranger, TJ? It's unlucky there for the Barbars because he had a committee with the Vainikolo on the inside.
Touch. Pause. Engage. No.
Yeah, things getting a little frustrated there at scrum time.
Well, a lot of pressure now on this New Zealand Māori scrum, Tony, and so much pressure on that occasion that Murray never really had an opportunity to drive that left arm of his up, which he's legally bound to do.
No second chance now.
And, yeah, just got the message from Josh Newland. He's had enough.
Last chance. Last chance.
This is the first match between the Māori and the Barbars for a while. They played back in 2002, match at North Harbour Stadium.
There, you're there now.
It was a good game too, 37-22 final score.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
And the indications are we might be in for a scoreline like that as well, although the team's still having problems at scrum time. Aaron Smith still on the field with Chris Smylie in the blood bin. Clint Newland's going to play halfback. Not a bad pass either to Stephen Brett. And Vainikolo has completely missed that. He's had a long way to go back, but he's got it. Wearing the white boots today, Vainikolo. Got just about every colour of the rainbow and some.
And did I see flashes of pink on those? Surely not. Please.
Let's have a look. Oh, dear.
Gosh.
He's got more footwear than Imelda Marcos, this bloke.
Oh, the game's changed, Tony. The game has come a long way. I don't know whether for the good when a bloke's out there wearing pink boots.
Come on, you old boys. It's all about expression. Young man's game now.
Here's your mark here.
Well, that counts you out.
Yeah. Move them down. Black, come down, please. Come down. Here's the mark
Young
here.
at heart, TJ.
Mate, when I started playing rugby, you wore O'Brien's or nothing.
Move down, Red.
And nailed the studs in.
Move down.
Yep.
I'll deal with them, you deal with your guys.
5, 2, 9, 8.
So Corey Flynn, Jared Hoeata, very good down the back of the line out. You see a lot of him during Super 14 with the Chiefs. Spent a bit of time on the sideline, had a suspension. And he's going to be very valuable for this Māori side. Now Stephen Brett running the ball to the line and then getting it away to McAlister. Ben Smith made the tackle.
Fine.
And someone getting in there and ripping it away with Rennie Ranger, of course, but he's lost it. And the Māori have got it back. And off it goes to Stephen Brett. Nice little ball back in field, although Robbie Robinson munched and losing the ball. And here's Kevin O'Neill. Tries his hand at a kick. It's an absolute shocker. But Maitland's gone back and he's got it. I don't think he'll be trying that when he goes to the Melbourne Rebels.
They certainly haven't signed him for his kicking, have they? Well, let's hope not.
They'll send him straight back home again. Here's Bryce Heem's got something to chase after here. Vainikolo onto it. Robbie Robinson couldn't take it cleanly, and they'll end up with a scrum feed, the Barbars.
Didn't see that one, sorry.
Gee, Carl, Bryce Heem, we've said he's got some pace. I'd love to see him on the end of the chain and just with space in front of him.
Yeah, Jose Gear there, being a bit lackadaisical. Here's the big hit.
Well, it looks like it's a three-way collision there. I'm not altogether certain about who came worse off of that, but this could be the worst kick of the year from Kevin O'Neill.
Oh, he had to have a go, though, didn't he? Festival match.
That's right. You spend plenty of time in this game without the opportunity. When you get the opportunity to express yourself, you make the most of it, don't you, Carl?
What do you reckon he should have run it, Carl?
Well, done it and go something.
Maybe he was looking for the chip and regather.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Certainly wasn't a very good attempt at a touch finder.
Black, binding.
And
Can't
more
keep talking.
trouble at scrum time. We're talking about the front rows, but of course it's not just about the front rows, is it, Richard? You've got to take into account the whole pack, what's coming in behind them.
Yeah, here we go. But what the problem that Josh Noonan's got is that left arm of Bronson Murray is just not getting it up. But that's because at the moment the New Zealand Barbarians are getting the initial hit. They're leading in the hit, so they're getting to the contact point quicker than the New Zealand Maori scrum. And as soon as they make contact, Bronson Murray just doesn't have the opportunity to get or keep that left arm up, which he's required to do. And Josh Noonan had given him a warning 2 scrums ago, and so he'd had enough. And surprisingly for me, the Barbarians deciding to have a crack at 3.
So Colin Slade going to have a shot at goal. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Trying to close the gap and unable to do so.
22.
He's probably had a shot pod just to give his team a bit of a rest. The first time they've been down in the Māori half for quite a while. Would have made it a 1-score game if it was.
Slade back in the action. And off it goes to Jared Payne, runs straight into Tanita Latimer. And Māori looking for a turnover, and all they thought they had it.
Let him go. Yep,
but it's a penalty, and Albie Mathewson's taken it, and off he goes. Fires it back in field, nicely pulled in by John Afoa. He's clobbered by Clint Newland, but they've got the ball away. And this is Bryce Heem darting back in field. Faumuina moves it on to Saili, the try scorer for the Barbarians. Opportunity now. Slade stabbing a little kick through, ricocheting though, and scooped up by Isaac Ross.
It's coming to a man in front, man in front.
I think that breaks into offside, yep. So it'll be a scrum feed to the Barbarians.
Well, this is a great attacking opportunity. Barbars, the dominant, certainly the dominant scrum. So midfield, we've got left and right options.
Yes, attacking's got to let him go if they can do something.
And a ton of talent. Heem out here on the right on his own at the moment. He's about to be joined by Payne. So
here we go.
I've no doubt they've only had a few days together, but they would have cooked up something elaborate from a midfield scrum.
Yes, the Barbarians in true style didn't do an awful lot of training. They did do some clay bird shooting and apparently established new lows in that Olympic sport.
Crouch.
Put it this way, there were plenty of undamaged clay birds at the end of it.
Stay half.
They're all for recycling. Peter Saili trying to take it off the back, almost losing it to Messam there, but now they've got it. Mathewson off to Slade. And a nice little dummy. They were waiting for Ranger. Now here he is, coming in off the wing to try and take him, but he got the ball away brilliantly to Ben Smith, who finishes off in style, but again, the danger of Ranger.
Well, also Colin Slade, a man that we've seen in plenty of different numbers in a back line. His definite preference is the 10 jersey, and he's looked good today, and on this occasion, good presence of mind. Had a look and knew he had the mismatch, only had Clint Newlands on the inside, decided to take it to the line. Rennie Ranger was there, and Ben Smith, another player playing out of position, who's looked very, very impressive in the 12 jersey.
And once again, Potter, was the width that Slade was standing at. One pass and skipped 3 players, and he saw the mismatch as you spoke about. Clint Newland on a standoff. Always only going to be one winner. Great distribution and vision there from Slade to see where the space was.
And easily converted. Ben Smith, well, he's a quality player, and he doesn't look out of place in midfield, but so much of it about Ranger. Yes, Slade made the initial incision, but you got the sense that the Māori defence were hanging off because Ranger was there, and in the end they couldn't stop him anyway. Slade, and here's Ranger again, this time floating it. Well, Fetu Vainikolo's not having a great time out there so far in this game.
It wasn't the best of passes, to be fair to him, but certainly catchable.
Step down, Brett.
He's guilty on that occasion, just getting ahead of himself. Fetu Vainikolo.
Ross calling the line out and eventually getting it under a bit of a challenge, tidied up by Ramsay. And here they come again, and Willison setting it up right out in centre field. Again, that attempted stab kick through, not really coming off, but they'll come back for a penalty. And, well, it might just be worth a settling shot at goal here for the Māori, Richard.
Yep, absolutely. They've been under a bit of pressure from the Barbars, so a good opportunity, and I'm pretty sure that's, Messam's decided that's what they'll do. But have a look here. Colin Slade was the guilty party. There he is, takes the tackle, just stays there, and just stays there too long. You can't there, the ball's there for the Māori to clear, and Colin Slade, you can't low there, you've got to make an effort to get out. And Josh Noonan ruling accordingly.
I think Soakai might have been a little bit guilty of not really releasing the player before he started hunting the ball. So here's McAlister. So far, so good for him. another one knocked over for Luke McAlister. It's 20-14 as we approach half-time here at Toll Stadium in Whangarei.
Oh, it's bread and butter stuff for Luke McAlister. Knock those over with his eyes closed.
The crowd really enjoying this. Great atmosphere here. And Hoeata has it a bit loose. Maitland brings it under control. Bangs it off downfield. He can kick the ball a long way. Sean Maitland. Jared Payne putting the ball away into touch. Yes, the crowd came in early. They had a good curtain raiser between Northland and Bay of Plenty development teams. Well, there's the Go Lightly brothers there, but in front of Waka Nathan and Wayne Peters, Wayne Peters played club rugby up here in Whangarei. Andrew Go Lightly, the chairman up here of the Northland Rugby Union, and he has done a great job. He really has. Union's had its problems, but things are looking very good here at the moment. Got a lot to be proud of in this stadium. Hoping for good things too in this year's ITM Cup, which we look forward to bringing you later in the winter. Liam Messam on the ball, and well, Stephen Brett just was not expecting that ball from Jared Ross, who is quick to apologise.
Well, it's a good heads-up play from Isaac Ross, just wanting to keep the ball alive, but yeah, Stephen Brett just moving in, trying to move into a position to attack from, and wasn't really, well, he didn't have his eye on the ball there. Have a look here. There it is, pop. No.
I think maybe that's what the selectors have talked to Isaac Ross about. I mean, you need to take that ball into the ruck, set it up for the next movement of play.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that isn't it, Carl, though? I guess as a player, you make a conscious decision. You either say, well, I got here doing what I'm good at, or you say, right, this is what the selectors want, so I'm going to change who I am to make you know, as a team that is selected on what the current regime are looking for. It's an interesting dilemma as a footballer.
Yeah, it's just finding that balance, isn't it, really?
Just rushing.
Well, this is a great opportunity for him. But there are two very good locks on the reserve bench too. Heijden Triggs, we all know about. Romana Graham.
Pause.
Season with the Chiefs under his belt, a bit more experience. Free kick goes to the Māori just before half-time here. Latimer takes the tap, gets it away to Brett, onto Messam. Commits 2 or 3 to the tackle, and looking for quick phase ball. Brett moving it on now. Bronson Murray has a little charge. Smith. Oh, it goes, and nice ball away from Ross from Ramsay onto Hoeata, but they've gone into touch. Looks like Chris Smiley's night's over. KT. Well, that's half-time here at Toll Stadium in Whangarei, and plenty of tries in the first half. And New Zealand Maori leading the Barbarians 20-14. And let's go down to KT.
Yeah, Stephen Brett, one of the early try scores. A good moment by yourself to get your try.
Yeah, no, it's just we just got to get back into the game. You know, we let them come back in the second half with just our missed tackles. So, you know, we'll talk about that in the half-time break and hope to come out here and no missed tackles in the second half.
Good luck.
Thanks, Carl. Half-time here at Toll Stadium in Whangarei. New Zealand Maori leading the New Zealand Barbarians by 20-14. Half-time in the first of the Sea Lord Centenary Series matches, And it's the New Zealand Maori leading the New Zealand Barbarians by 20-14. See Hone Harawira there on the edge of shot. One of a number of politicians here at this game. Peter Sharples has been here. A number of notable former players here too, and they've seen some good tries scored here. First in the game, started by this excellent break from Jose Gia. And then watch for Stephen Brett. Tackling not too hot from the Barbarians on that occasion. And first try of the match went to Stephen Brett. And then the second, sparked from the back by Robbie Robinson. Good run out of defence after his team had been under pressure. Situation saved by Bryce Heem, the young Auckland club rugby winger who came across from the far side, but Maori keeping it going somehow or other, through fair means or not. That ball popped out for Liam Messam, and he was able to scamper away for the second try. They were looking good, but then the New Zealand Barbarians coming back, and there were some nice touches in the lead up to this try, scored by Peter Saili for the Barbars. That was good. The next one was even better. Rennie Ranger playing at centre for the Barbarians. They were hanging off, and Colin Slade made the break and then looked for the pop offload to Ben Smith, who was making a good fist playing in the number 12 jersey here as we go inside the dressing room. I think the biggest problem for Jamie Joseph really got to be set piece, Richard. Oh, no doubt about that. New Zealand Maori scrum under all sorts of pressure in that first 40 minutes. Be interesting for me, Tony, if he's actually made any changes. As Bronson Murray was penalised, he was on a warning late in that first half, and Clint Newlands was struggling against the power of Jamie McIntosh. These blokes have been relaxed all week, and I imagine that'll be fairly much the same in terms of the message, any message that they get from the coaching team of the New Zealand Barbars at half-time. We look down on what is a tremendous setting here on this lovely occasion at Toll Stadium in Whangarei. Look forward to the second half coming up. New Zealand Maori leading 20-14 over the Barbarians. So the second half about to start here at Toll Stadium. Some very notable figures here tonight. Of course, on the right, the Vice President now of the New Zealand Rugby Union, the great B.G. Williams, and with him a visitor from Milford. And let's hear now from the coach, Carl Tinana, downstairs with Jamie Joseph.
Well, Coach, defensively you've been broken on a couple of occasions, obviously a concern.
Yeah, our big guys have been exposed a couple of times, and that's usually due to overcommitting in the ruck, so we've got to make sure that we help those big guys, and then Reno Ranger runs at us and runs through three players, so just one-on-one tackles, got to make them.
And I suppose the scrum, obviously a concern. How are you going to fix that?
Yeah, they've beaten us to the hit a little bit, but we're going to talk about that, and hopefully they'll improve this half.
All right, good luck.
Good man.
See a few seagulls have flown in. Hope that doesn't mean that rain's on the way. We've been very lucky with the weather. It's a great conditions and a couple of tries each. Plenty of entertainment, more to come. Second half about to start. And it's Stephen Brett kicking off for the New Zealand Maori. Not taken cleanly by the Barbarians, but some obstruction in the air as Josh Bekhuis went up for it, and so a penalty goes to the Barbarians. And Jamie Joseph does appear to have made a change in his second row. Ball has gone into touch, and that change, Heijden Triggs is on for Daniel Ramsay. So the Wellingtonian makes way for, well, a Manawa two-man, but of course a Highlander, Heijden Triggs, and he'll partner Isaac Ross. Barbarians have got it, and John Afoa charges ahead. The Barbarians 6 points behind at half-time. Scott Waldrom about 7 or 8 metres from the line. Now they've got it up off the deck. Soakai Leaves it behind him. MacKintosh was looking for it, but didn't control it. The Barbars, they've kicked it through, and an opportunity for the Māori to run it out. Jackson Willison taken just short of the 22. And Stephen Brett, well, he ran into a hole and spotted some space. He was run straight into the back of Charlie Faumuina. He's gone to deck, and back comes Albie Mathewson with it. Referee ruling there was no late charge, and so the Barbars have got it. Soakai gets the legs driving into the 22. Newland makes the tackle on his Highlanders teammate. Faumuina comes away with it now for the Barbars. There it is for Mathewson. Ever-present danger around the fringes. Afoa, whose good run really started it. Now O'Neill driving ahead, but he's lost it. Another chance for the Māori to clear. And Robbie Robinson comes away with it. Now they've got it off now to McAlister. Oh, no look pass. And Sean Maitland, well, it was nowhere near him in the end. The only bloke who could have caught that would have been the assistant referee.
Yeah, McAlister, though, his awareness here, Tony, was that if he got rid of it quickly, then Maitland was away. There was no one there.
And he had a bit of time to give that pass. Sorry, Todd.
Leah Messam on an unsuccessful line-out, and then an unsuccessful attempt to catch the ball from Heijden. Triggs gives it back to the Barbarians. So let's see if they can make something of it. Mathewson. There's a look one way and the other. And off he goes on one of those little runs that he's so good at. Faumuina there in support. Sets it up. Picked up again by Mathewson. Off he goes. Floats the ball wide. Afoa. On it goes. MacKintosh. Range up. And MacKintosh gets it back and scores.
Oh, it looks like he's looking for someone to celebrate with. Does Jamie MacKintosh. No need to celebrate, fella. You've had a good first 40 minutes at scrum time, and you've earned some reward for it here. First score of the second half. They've looked good after the break, the Barbars, and mainly through that bloke there. Albie Mathewson, but they've chosen to keep it fairly tight. The pick and go's been prominent. They finish it out wide. MacKintosh delivered the ball and then received the in pass. Good enough.
Well, what this means is that it's an opportunity, if Colin Slade can nail this, for the Barbars to go in front. Just 1 point the gap, and the lead changes for the first time. The Barbarians are in front, 21-20. The try by Jamie MacKintosh, nicely converted by Slade. Well, a couple of opportunities the Māori team have had to clear their own 22. Haven't really done it, and it's got them into trouble.
And it's the quickness of the ball that the Barbarians are getting, TJ, that's putting the stress on the defence of the Māori.
Again, not cleanly taken, and Waldrom's managed to snaffle that back for the Barbarians. In danger of losing it. Slade now. Kicking quite low, nicely read by Robinson, and off he goes. Robbie Robinson gets it away to Jackson Willison. And Sean Maitland, all three of them products of the New Zealand age group system. Brett now moving it on. Hoeata, good strong runner with ball in hand. Sevens background. Bronson Murray gets rid of it. Messam now, taken by his opposite, Peter Saili. There for Aaron Smith on now permanent replacement for Chris Smylie. And here he is, the young Manawa 2 halfback in action. On to Robbie Robinson. Just looking to hang on to the ball through some phases, but they didn't do so. And that was a clever little attempt at a pass by Fitu Vainikolo. Jared Payne was away, but the transfer was just forward.
Certainly seemed to be a little more controlled in the second half of this Barbarian side, but still true to the ethos of the Barbarians. Any opportunity, there it was, wasn't much in it either. great awareness from Vainikolo that short side for the Māori was unprotected.
And more great work at the breakdown too from Rennie Ranger.
First things first.
It was he who really got it and snaffled the ball, freed it up for the Barbars.
It's one of his real strengths, isn't it, Tony, is his willingness to work at the breakdown. So he's not the sort of player that just is always in a hurry to get back into his position from phase play. Quite happy to get in there and do the hard stuff if it's required. And as you say, often it results in a turnover for his side, so it's a good attitude to have.
There is some people might have thought that Rennie would appear in the New Zealand Maori side. In fact, he's a Cook Islander. That's why he's in the Barbarians team rather than the other side involved in this game.
Touch.
And an exciting player.
Engage.
Great to watch.
Get it in, Black. Leave it there.
Well, the Barbarians again causing some problems at scrum time. This time, halfback Aaron Smith not prepared to put it into a scrum that wasn't steady, and so the free kick has gone to the Barbars and Colin Slade. Well, what's up here? Look at the ball scattered to the four winds, and he's decided to put one high, and they were offside.
All in front out wide.
I think Jose Guerre's the most relieved one, because you had about 8 blokes running at him and none of them were back, so all forward.
Let's have a look. Yeah, half a metre maybe.
Oh, okay, all right. I was prepared to debate that for a while, but never mind.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, you're the boss, Tony. I'm just a bloke that sits next to you and talks.
Back yourself, Pod, back yourself, mate.
Yeah, I'm the boss, but I left my credit card at home.
Tom off.
Well, Colin Burke's coming on from the Māori in jersey number 20. And also Corey Flynn is off. And 9 is Dean Coles, jersey 16.
Interesting for me, those substitutions, Carl, because for me, their big problem is their scrum. I don't know about how replacing a loose forward and a hooker is going to improve that situation for the Māori.
Time's on now. Time on.
Dean Coles, the Waniki Club in Wellington. And it's just been picked off easily by Kevin O'Neill. So problems continue at set piece for the Māori, and Albie Mathewson belts it away downfield. Long kick too. Bit of a breeze coming down the ground would have helped him, but that was still a very good kick. Robbie Robinson has it and fires it back to Jose Guerre. He's the danger man. Made a couple of great runs in the first half. Now Aaron Smith on a duck and weave his way through. Messam gets it away to Brett. Robinson up in the line. Coles now onto Ross. Waldrom going and trying to affect the turnover. And almost did so. Effectively he has. He's got the penalty for them.
Now let it go, Black.
It's excellent work at the breakdown from Scott Waldrom.
Let him go. Holding on.
Yeah, wonderful work. Scott Waldron at the breakdown. Got his hands on it. And then held on long enough to affect the penalty. And again, the Barbars down in New Zealand Māori territory. Set phase they've been strong at.
I've got to get the line out. Sorry, KT.
No, sorry, I think Scott Waldrom, number 6 jersey, has applied himself brilliantly today. He's been a great link. He's worked well with Soakai and Saili at the back. Just a very disruptive player.
Yes, for a side that only been together for a few days and hasn't had that many practice sessions, they're not doing too badly. Leading by 1 point, the New Zealand Barbarians. 21-20. Saili wins the line out. Waldrom feeding it back. Charlie Faumuina comes away with it and makes a great run, then loses it.
It's forward.
Well, Charlie Faumuina has had his moments this season. Had an absolute blinder against the Bulls for the Blues at Eden Park.
It's been good tonight too. Tony, because as we've mentioned, he's had Bronson Murray on a warning.
Sorry?
Real pressure on at scrum time. Charlie Faumuina. And Messam doing the captain's thing there, just asking questions of the referee. Replacement player and Dane Cole's in the middle. Let's see if he makes a difference. But expect a big effort here from the Barbars.
Touch. Pause.
Early from the Barbarians. Messam takes the tap. And Colin Burke there with him. It's a good combo, that. Stephen Brett didn't strike that all that well. Jared Payne's got it. And goodness, what was that? Was that a drop kick?
That was a drop kick, Tony, but
wasn't a very good one.
It wasn't a good one, no. Jared Payne, another bloke that knows his way around this field pretty well. No doubt he tried that a few times. Just not quite striking it right.
Well, they're going for 3-pointers. Until they're not just here to entertain, they want to win this game. There's Colin Burke. Waldrom fields the dropout and heads off infield, taken by Dane Coles. Māori looking for the turnover, driving through on it, but Barbarians have still got it. Albie Mathewson tied up. Soakai comes into play halfback. Fires it off to Slade, on to Ben Smith, who's looked very good in patches. Now Ranger, Randy Ranger thumps into Robbie Robinson and through him. Couldn't quite link up with Bekhuis.
Lost forward. Lost forward.
Well, it's interesting there, TJ, because the hole came about because Stephen Brett was taken out by a Barbarian defender.
I'm telling you, that one wasn't.
Here he comes across Ben Smith, you see there, number 3.
Here we go.
Faumuina just takes him out without the ball.
Early, this side. Engage. Oh, yeah. Early, beat me.
Oh, this man in full flight, isn't he? Brilliant. The footwork, the strength.
Yeah, this first.
Well, something happens pretty much every time he gets the ball.
And that's the exciting thing about him. He's a player that's going to do something completely out of nothing. He's a bloke that you far rather have it in your side, trying to figure out a way if you're in the other side of how to stop it. Just again, guilty the Barbarians of the last pass. Make it ball control.
Well, he got the ball from the scrum, which hasn't always been a straightforward job. And McAlister belts it off down towards the 22 of the Barbars, bouncing, and into touch it goes. Got a good result out of it, Luke McAlister.
Yeah, they've attempted to run it out, New Zealand Maori, on the 2 previous occasions inside their 22, but this time, discretion being the better part of valor, but the Barbars are off.
Well, that might just be the longest line-out throw in history. It's gone 2/3 of the way across the field. And now Jose Gear sending it back down inside Barbars territory to Jared Payne, who's the man who made the throw. And he puts a nice grubber kick down into touch.
Another change by the New Zealand Maori on in jersey 17 is Ben Afiaki and off is Clint Newland.
Well, let's see if he can do something to just steady that front row, steady the scrum. Māori have taken it quickly. And Bronson Murray tearing off the kick, gets the bounce too, the local boy. Afiaki there in support. He's a good ball runner now. Triggs, so the replacement players working together there. Smith gets it away to another replacement, Colin Burke. Good attacking situation here for Stephen Brett now. Nice wide pass to Messam. Gets the ball back in field. Good support there from Willison. Mathewson coming through, trying to disrupt, but he's got it back. Now they move it on, floating the ball wide, but Bronson Murray waiting for the pass, got absolutely belted there in the tackle by Bryce Heem. Now Faumuina has a run. Hasn't had too many opportunities on attack, Bryce Heem, but nothing wrong with his defence. Let's see what his pass is like. Well, not the best, but they've got it away. John Afoa. Vainikolo picks it up. Off it goes to Soakai. Nice footwork in the offload. Bryce Heem, well, he couldn't hang on to it. Bronson Murray's got it. And away it goes to Ross. Game really opening up now. Ross Well, trying to pop the low percentage pass to Willison. And
down scrum black.
he's given the scrum feed to the Māori. It looks like
Yeah, just do it, course.
Yeah, change.
Bryce Heem's game might be over.
Yeah, he's been stretching for quite a while, TJ. And on in his place is jersey 22 is Daniel Bowden.
Yep, that.
It's just a shame we haven't had the opportunity to see him on attack, because they tell us he can really go.
Short.
As you say, Tony had limited opportunities on attack, but he's shown a bit of that taste defensively. And certainly has looked a comfortable part of this New Zealand Barbarian side, and first opportunity on the big stage for Bryce Heem, and he'd be fairly happy.
Yeah, another change for the New Zealand Maori. On in jersey 18 is Romana Graham from Ngāti and Waikato, and off is Isaac Ross.
Well, Romana Graham, he's an interesting prospect, this fellow. He's a big man with a basketball background.
On there, go.
So a new locking combination, different to the one that started. They started out with Ramsay and Ross, now it's Graham and Triggs. So only Bronson Murray of the original tight five remains.
Touch, pause, engage. Much better. Stay on 7, red.
And Smith has it from a better scrum. McAlister stabbing the kick through. Robinson's after it. He's got it.
So you're happy?
Nicely done from the New Zealand Maori. Better scrum and nice execution in the back line.
Oh, a couple of things here for me, Tony. New Zealand Maori, this bloke here, this is just all about determination, because the kick went through from McAlister, and Robinson, well, he just put the hammer down to get to it, because he knew when the ball was going to bounce up, and he really put the gas on, worked hard to get there, did Robbie Robinson. And McAlister, though, good heads-up play, knew that the Barbarians' defensive line had come up quickly, no one at home at the back sweeping, and Robinson, the finish.
It all came down to the centre, though. Pod Jackson Willison, he was the one that come in the short decoy run. Luke McAlister had bounced wide out, got on the outside of Rene Ranger, saw the space, as you said, put the kick through, which was pinpoint. The Māori had too many numbers on the outside coming through. Easy try.
So New Zealand Māori back in front, and McAlister trying to stretch the lead, can't do so. That's his first miss of the night. He's kicked well. Let's see what KT was talking about here. See Willison there on the inside, just distracting the defence. Just created a little opening. McAlister, precise kick. We've seen a few hit and hope stab kicks tonight, none of which have come off, but that one did.
Well, big Charlie Faumuina was off for the Barbarians in jersey number 3, and on in 17 is Tim Dowd.
So that means John Afoa will go back to prop, and Tim Dowd will go to hooker. Aaron Smith puts the kick high, chasing after it. Maitland, oh, he's got it too, right on the fingertips. Brilliant play from the Crusaders winger. And the New Zealand Māori team now looking to get back into gear. McAlister can't slip the tackle though. But Romana Graham's there to help him out.
He's won it. No problems.
Barbars might have turned this over. It's loose though, and Latimer swooped on it for the Māori, so they get it back. Smith fires it off to Graham. Waldrom goes in looking for it. And he's penalised.
Let him go first. Let him go.
Says he didn't release him before he went for the ball. Waldrom begs to differ. They're just signs that, if you like to use the expression, the Māori have got their groove back, Richard.
Yeah, well, they were under pressure from the Barbars straight after the break, Tony, but you did right, got back into their work. There's 2 replacements too.
I think having a bit of structure instead of just flinging the ball left to right and laterally. Set the going, bring the changes on, just going forward, set the platform, and then letting these backs go.
Throw for Coles. Graham's gone towards the front. Well, they were aiming for Triggs, but Bekhuis has got up and he's knocked it down on the Barbarian side. set piece of big work on for the Māori before they take on Ireland next Friday night in Rotorua, and after that the following Wednesday they play England and Napier. We look forward to bringing you both of those games in the Sea Lord Centenary Series. Here's Sean Maitland for the New Zealand Māori. Gets through the tackle of Ranger that time. And Stephen Brett now moving it on. Coles. Loose offload, but Afiaki's there to pick it up. And Jose Gill, some clever work there from Waldrom, just sticking a hand out and forcing the knock on from Jose Gill.
Once again, just making a nuisance of himself. He's everywhere, isn't he, at the moment, Scotty Waldrom? They had numbers once again. Dane Coles decided to take the hit up in midfield. They outnumbered the defence 4-1. It was only Ben Smith on this right-hand side.
I see those stats just flip through bottom of your screen, and the big concern for New Zealand Māori is the amount of possession they've had. Yet they're only 4 points ahead of the Barbars.
Touch, pause, engage. Straight down.
So a few changes here at scrum time.
Well, you can see there's been a reshuffle of the Māori loose forwards with Liam Messam on the side of the scrum, Colin Burke at number 8. Latimer remains, so Bay of Plenty trio, rather a Chiefs trio, 2 Bay of Plenty, 1 Waikato.
Touch, pause, engage. Stay up now, 1. Play back.
Saili, if it goes to Mathewson, Payne up into the line, slips the kick through. Ben Smith out on the wing now, chasing after it. Yeah, but it's gone into touch. Māori have taken it quickly. Burke now moving it on. Brett dummying nicely, just taken around the ankles. Good tackle made there by Tim Dowell. McAlister floating the ball wide. Gear slips the first one. Taken just short of halfway. McAlister. Latimer got the ball and tackler at the same time, all getting a bit messy. Referee looking to the sideline for a bit of assistance. One of the Māori players is down injured as Colin Burke heads off. Taken from behind by Kevin O'Neill. But here's Afiaki now. Latimer. Good link player that he is. New Zealand Māori looking to stretch this narrow lead that they have here. McAlister running onto it straight. Robinson gets it away to Bronson Murray.
Back you go for.
And there it is for Smith. Maitland now. Latimer. Maitland staying in close. So they're building the phases here. Burke crunches into the tackle of Soakai. Now lost it forward. Afiaki it was who made the big charge on the ball. In fact, the referee was playing advantage. Penalty.
Yeah, Rennie Ranger will get a talking to here. Just taking Sean Maitland out off the ball, but unfortunately for him, right in front of...
You still can't play him off the ball, okay? Got to let him go.
Referee Josh Newland, not too much in it though. Just a warning. But much better from the New Zealand Māori. Tony, more direct.
Off the ball, played him.
Lift and urgency. And ironically, usually when you make that many changes in a game,
what's the option?
Team and the game itself can often lose its structure and composure, but seems to be the contrary for New Zealand Māori on this occasion.
Oh my guys, just take him away from here so he can kick.
Luke McAlister coming across, and he's going to have a shot at goal. They want to make sure they get this series off to a winning start.
Liam.
And this kick is going to be straight into that stiff breeze we're talking about, TJ. So it's going to be no easy feed if this goes over.
It's a bit of a breeze, but it hasn't brought any bad weather with it. We're very lucky. And Luke McAlister, just the one miss. Take that two, and you can see there as the ball started to veer away, the wind really caught it.
like the World Cup soccer ball, Tony. The way it moved in the air there.
Sure, the Adidas people will be thrilled to hear you say that, Richard.
No, there's plenty of people out there that played a lot better at soccer than I ever was, Tony, that are complaining about it as well.
Oh, Maitland fires it back in field. Colin Burke, chance to have a bit of a wind-up and a run at them. And back it goes to Aaron Smith, on to Brett. Maitland back in the action again. Always looks like he's going to break that first line of defence. So he's popped that up to Vainikolo. Stepping brilliantly, pushing Brett out of the way. Robinson comes across. He can't take him either. Latimer saves the day. Still got it though. Chance to get it wide. There could be a try on here. Ranger flicking it on. Scooped up by Soakai. Gear trying to wrap him up. But it's there. Ranger. Little look. Then firing it away. Bowden. Ranger ready to deliver. In fact, they leave it for Mathewson now. To Slade now. Putting a little kick through. No one home at the back. Slade scores! Well, brilliantly read by Colin Slade. And the Barbarians are back in front.
Wow, that's it, and summed it up in one, Tony. Absolutely brilliantly read from Colin Slade, but it's all started back here. Look at this at the breakdown, untidy from the Māori, and Vainikolo, the step inside, turned Brett inside out, then bumped, or pushed him over, and they kept the ball alive, went wide from there, and then look, Colin Slade has a look up, knows there's no one home, and have a look at this for timing. Perfect.
Was great vision, wasn't it? The left foot kick from Colin Slade and a beautiful bounce. And that's just class right there.
Well, you could see Robbie Robinson was up in the line. He'd had to come across and try and stop Vainikolo. Stayed up in the line, and great awareness from Colin Slade. But then, of course, he needed the skill to take advantage. He's converted his own try, and it's 28-25 with 12 minutes to play.
Well, that was Vainikolo's last act. He's off, and on in jersey 21 is Lockie Munro, and also off is is Dean Budd in jersey number 19, and off is Scott Waldrom, who I've got sitting next to me. Scooter, I mean, you're obviously enjoying the game. You're making a nuisance of yourself, but the Barbarians aren't shy.
No, definitely not. There's some class players there, and a lot of guys with points to prove and reasons to play for, so that's why it's a tough game, I think.
You guys obviously getting in amongst the festival atmosphere that the Barbarians are renowned for.
Definitely, the word was to us, we play hard, but we enjoy our rugby and throw it around a bit and make it a spectacle.
Well, here comes Jose Gear.
Hopefully we can keep on top, and it's a good night for the boys.
Cheers, cheers, Bob.
Smith has it. Out it goes to Brett. Has a run. Remember, he scored early on in the game. Things were going pretty well for the Māori, but they've got a fight on their hands to win this one now. Messam now. Saili all over him. And they're getting close to the line. Now McAlister pops it back. Oh, Coles couldn't hang on to it.
No, he hasn't.
Managed to regather it, but after it had hit the jersey of the Barbarians player. So that's a knock on. The referee's playing advantage though, and he'll give them a chance to clear as Bowden comes in, plays halfback, and Lockie Munro belts it away. Quickly taken, and off goes Robbie Robinson looking for a hole. Colin Burke was the man who threw it in. He stayed in support. There for Aaron Smith. Fires it off. McAlister. On it goes now to Sweeney. Dangerous runner. Bronson Murray there in support. Taking it ahead inside the 22. Big moments in the game these. Graham, ball knocked away by Payne.
Just a lot forward.
They've still got it though. Tanilo Latimer offloads it.
Going to come back to the lost forward.
Well, desperate bid there and desperate defence from the Barbarians managing to hold.
That's why there's no advantage.
Well, they did indeed hold them out, the Barbars, and only with 14 men. Captain Orlando Soakai is receiving attention throughout the period of play.
It doesn't look good here on the Ground zero, Robbie Robinson in jersey 15 for New Zealand Maori. Not in good shape at the moment, looking at the knee.
And Stephen Carter out there hopefully applying the ice pack. Robinson, you feel one of the players, he could break the game for them.
Yeah, I don't see it any other way.
Yeah, certainly
full
of work and
so far.
good with ball in hand tonight, Robbie Robinson, but looking
I've lost the time on it, so
a little bit of pain here. Dane Coles is also now the Māori player getting attention, his attention a little lower down in the leg.
Okay, there he goes.
Robinson looks all right, a squirt of the water.
And there's Dean Budd, who of course has appeared in Auckland teams, but very much a Northland man. His father, Mike Budd, a very popular figure up here, captain of the Northland side back in the 1980s, mid-80s.
Come on.
10 minutes to go and 3 points the margin. It hasn't been copybook stuff. You wouldn't expect it, but it's been entertaining.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Aaron Smith, the Māori scrum's gone a bit better as the game's worn on. Not a great pass. Brett has to go back for it. They've still got possession. Sweeney. And he'll ask some questions of the defence. Dwayne Sweeney. Good quick ball too. Liam Messam taking it right on the advantage line. Smith again. Now McAlister. Saili looking to wrap him up. And they've got him up off the ground too. And he's lost the ball. And it's been picked up by Soakai. Gets it away to Lachie Munro. And off he goes. Coming across is Maitland. And Ranger loses it in the tackle. Now Maitland's gone back and picked it up. Looked like the movement had broken down. May have only just started. Smith, off it goes. They got a chance to stretch them wide here, although there are forwards out wide. Dane Cole's waiting, hopefully, for it on the wing. Take it back the other way. And McAlister is looking for a hole. Pops it up. Smith. Not taken cleanly by Graham, but he manages to get it away to Robinson. Off it goes to Gear. Jose Gear, what can he do? Tries to crash through the tackle of Lachie Munro. Good support there from Awhiaki. Now Sweeney gets rid of it. Coles looks for someone to pass it to. And trying to stretch them again. Brett moves it on. Messam, the captain, offloads to Latimer. Gets it away to Triggs. Back to Latimer. Anfield it goes. And Triggs is over. That is a beauty. End-to-end try. Māori rugby at its best.
Now Heijden Triggs, the finisher. Boy, oh boy, there weren't too many blokes on that field that weren't involved at some stage of that. Got the tail end of it here. Moving the ball wide, just looking for holes. Brett decides to take, he's the one that's going to take it to the line. Messam to Latimer, and Latimer gets it straight back from Triggs. Triggs stays in support. And look at it, Burke, well, possibly could have gone all the way himself, but popped it up, and Heijden Triggs following up nicely, finishes it off. Wonderful, wonderful try.
Remember, that all started down this near touch line when Lachie Munro broke. It was Sean Maitland who got back in defence. Tackled that man, Rene Ranger, on screen. Got back, took the ball forward. And a couple of great pieces of involvement from Tanedo Latimer. You can see in the background the rain starting to fall here quite heavily.
It is correct. We've got a hooter anyway, so I can't hear that. So just if you can let me know when that does go.
It means that the New Zealand Māori are back in front by 30-28. McAlister will try and convert from wide out. Crowd starting to duck for cover as the rain arrives in force. That was a great try. Can he finish it off with the conversion? Just away to the right. So it's a 2-point game, but still 6 minutes to play. Heijden Triggs try. The way he stayed in support, he'd actually run out over the touchline. And you can see the clap of the hands there. The call, in he goes. And I'm sure someone will know what that was all about. Romana Graham under the kickoff.
Let it go now.
They'll get it back to Brett, and he puts it away at a touch. Still on for the Barbarians, though. Their line-out's been pretty good right throughout this match.
7 reds up.
And looks like it might be the end of the night for one of the best players on the field, Orlando Soakai.
And 9. Oh, sorry, who was
In fact, it looks like a double replacement.
And 7,
yeah. Andrew van der Heijden's on in jersey 18.
It's like Ryan Caine might be on it. There he is, Ryan Caine. A local boy.
Come on.
From the Northland Tunny Farm.
Take your side down, Red.
Bekhuis goes up. He's got it for the Barbars. Trying to drive it ahead. MacKintosh now, one of the try scorers in this game. About 30 metres out from the line here, the Barbars. Heijden gets it to MacKintosh. They're up on him quickly. Saili driving ahead, leaves it for Caine now. Off it goes out into the back line, and Ranger trying to bump his way through. He's still going. Every time you think someone's got him, he just emerges from the tackle and keeps going.
Better go back now.
Caine fires it off now to Bowden, onto Saili. Inside the 22 they go. John Afoa. Caine now, off it goes to Slade. Andrew van der Heijden. Driven backward in the tackle. Bronson Murray needs to get his hands off that. Tell you what, you don't want to always give enough a chance to... The Barbarians, they could kick a penalty to win the game here. Well, he called out 2 or 3 times. One black, let it go. He did it. And so Colin Slade will get the chance here to possibly win the game. And Liam Messam, by the look of it, down on his knees. He's hoping for the kick to miss.
Well, have a look at him. There he is, Bronson Murray. It's certainly a ruck situation now. He's already had 1 warning. He's had a 2nd warning, and look, carries on with it.
Must be that headgear.
Well, maybe he needs to make those holes on the side a little bit bigger, Tony.
Well, now he realises what he's done. And Colin Slade, he's right out in front. About 3 minutes left on the clock by our reckoning. And a good strike from Colin Slade. He really hit that firmly with real conviction. And so the Barbarians are back in front, 31-30.
Oh, interesting dilemma for Northland supporters, isn't it, Tony?
Who to cheer for?
Yeah, exactly. Fierce smattering of Northland players on the Barbarian side.
Well, the Barbarians haven't taken that cleanly, and so the Māori get another shot at it.
Well, it does sets up a cracker finish. New Zealand Māori from set piece. Well, they struggled early. They've actually looked a lot better late in the second half at scrum time have New Zealand Māori, so that'll be a good platform for them. And an opportunity now to conjure something up. Liam Messam, the skipper there, he'll do all the talking. And to the forwards, it'll all be about just getting set piece right, delivering a good platform.
Here we go.
I think the man on the left has shot there, Heijden Triggs. I think he's added something to this team, and I'm sure that he's put up a pretty strong case to Jamie Joseph to give him a starting role in the match against Ireland, that's for sure. Experienced player.
This bloke down here too, Tony, Afiaki, had an influence on the front row since he's been introduced. Andy MacKintosh was pretty dominant for the majority of this match. Afiaki's come on and certainly stemmed the tide there.
Well, time's ticking away. Really do need to make this count. This is probably going to be their one shot at it. Aaron Smith there, just trying to dry the ball on his jersey.
Let's just go. The time's so on. Just sit right on it. Sit right on it.
You see, I think Dane Cole's there complaining, saying it's chewing up the time.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Stay up now.
They've got it. And Burke fires it away to Brett on the short side. Stepping Stephen Brett gets it away to McAlister. And in for the try goes Gear. Well, they had one shot at it, and they couldn't have carried it off better.
Oh, Jose Gear, he collects the 5. But it was a very well-worked move from New Zealand Maori. Aaron Smith from the base of the scrum ran a dummy to the right. Burke off the back. It wasn't a great pass, but it was almost the delay in the flight of the ball that brought the Barbarians' defence up flat and created the holes. Stephen Brett's looked good bringing the ball to the line, and McAlister feeding Jose Gear. And you'll put your money on this bloke every time.
When you're under pressure, you need your big guns to stand up, and there was 3 of them for New Zealand Maori. Stephen Brett made the initial break pass on Luke McAlister, running a great supportive line, saw the space, and to the finisher, Jose Gear in the corner.
Well, it was a very good pass. It took out a couple of defenders, found the spot. So it's 35-31. Can he add the conversion? McAlister, he can. And it's all over. This very entertaining match comes to an end. Jose Gear's converted try, and the New Zealand Maori have begun the Sea Lord Centenary Series with a win over the New Zealand Barbarians by 37 points to 31.
Well, big breaths out for the New Zealand Maori. That was an important for these guys, Tony. Very proud history do New Zealand Maori have. They've had some significant scalps over the years, and in their Centenary Series, very, very important to these guys to get off to a winning start. Entertaining match, as you mentioned. A lot of players contributing. Some very, very good tries. New Zealand Barbarians did their bit and put real pressure on the New Zealand Maori side, but they'll be better for this 80 minutes. They'll head off to Rotorua and they'll prepare for a very strong test against the Irish, but they'll have been much better for this preparation. New Zealand Barbarians have done them a favour.
Well, I think they'll be encouraged by the way their scrum in particular improved as the match wore on, but their backs always had the key, particularly Jose Gear. Scored at each end of the match, did Gear. And the crowd will go away with smiles on their face. Excellent match, not only to start the series, of course, for the New Zealand Maori team, but also the first big occasion here at this marvellous new stadium, Toll Stadium in Whangarei. Lots of smiles, lots of great friendships amongst these players. It certainly went back and forth, didn't it? Living up to expectation, this game. 37-31.
Well, I think the other thing, Tony, is it's been good for New Zealand rugby because we have had talent distributed through both these teams, and it's been impressive. A lot of the future of New Zealand rugby on display here, and guys pushing or looking to push their claims for higher honours tonight as well.
Well, let's get some after-match comment from Carl Tinana. Firstly, from the New Zealand Barbarians captain, Orlando Soakai.
Yeah, Orlando, close but no cigar, unfortunately.
Yeah, we come to this game pretty confident. Got some classy players here, so we come in and win. Fortunately, it didn't happen, so full credit to the Māoris.
Yeah, but you really challenged it to break down. You got quick ball, and that was a real secret to your guys' play tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we felt we had the edge in that top 5. We got some big lads to actually take through the middle. And it opened up in that second half. Again, it showed their classy outfit, so best luck for them.
Especially the set piece, I mean, you really took it to them. That was all about that attitude.
Yeah, definitely. We had the edge on them on that scrum. And we gave them a bit of problem in those lineups, so full credit to my boys.
Like you said, there was a lot of class players in your team, and some of them had some points to prove. I mean, Rene Ranger, outstanding. Ben Smith also, but across the park, just a great all-team performance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think our 10, 12 and 13 combination was pretty good tonight. Again, those 3 guys on the fringes for the AB, so pretty sure they stuck their hands up, and it's pretty gutting not to get the win.
Oh, no. All right, I'll let you get going and get that ice pack.
Just get in.
Yeah, class player, Orlando Soakai. And there's another one, Ben Smith. Saw glimpses of what he could do in that number 12 jersey tonight. Let's hear from Liam Messam, New Zealand Maori captain, off to a winning note too. He's with KT.
Yes, a winning note, TJ, but Joseph, your coach, asked for a hard work and out exactly what you got.
Yeah, bro, it's exactly what we needed. You know, a few boys haven't played rugby for the last month, so it was good to get a good hit out, and it's good to get some contact with some of the boys.
Yeah, you can just see in that first half all the boys are a bit scratchy, trying to play that lateral wide game, but it's all a bit lateral.
Yeah, it was, you know, and we got a bit of work for the Irish next week, and it's an exciting time.
Yeah, and just in the second half, you seem to get that go forward. The reserves come on and really made that impact.
Yeah, I think once the boys blew out the cobwebs and got the contact side of things back into it, you know, we started getting front foot football.
All right, so I'll win. We'll take it. Good luck for the 2 upcoming tests. Are going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, cheers, KT.
Yes, just reminding you that those games to come next Friday in Rotorua against Ireland, then the following Wednesday in Napier against England, but they've got off to a winning start, the New Zealand Maori, beating the Barbarians in an entertaining match here in Whangarei by 37-31.